Alright, hey guys, Light Fusion here, bringing you guys another Wolcen Lords of Mayhem video. It's been a little while since we were in here. I was waiting on an update. They recently updated it, I believe it was yesterday. They updated it to 0.5.02. It was actually a pretty big update. I think it was about 9 gigabytes to download. I'm going to go over the kind of the highlights of the video. The big thing they introduced in this one was the signature skills. So I'll go over the highlights real quick, and then we'll take a look at those signature skills that they introduced. They added one for each class. So some of the quick changes they made were item texts now show up when you hover the mouse over them. They also added in unique chests, so those are going to have a greater chance for a unique or rare item. They could even have legendary items in those. They said you'll know those because they'll have kind of a red colored aura around them so that you know what those are. They also added in a new stat. It's actually down at the very bottom, all the way down, this presence. Basically that's just how visible you are to the enemy. They have also modified some of the other game stats, like player health, armor, and enemy damage. They cut all of those in half. And then they doubled player damage and enemy health. Essentially it's going to be a net, everything's basically going to stay the same. They just wanted to adjust some of the values. No real big changes on that one. They did add in more unique items, and some of those have modifiers to skills. So some weapons will now, or some items, they don't necessarily have to be weapons, but they could have modifiers to different skills. The other big one was potions. Now have a permanent effect. So all potions now have a permanent effect when you equip it. Like this greater health potion here gives me an additional 6% to my health regeneration when equipped, and they're all different. I didn't get lucky. All of mine are not that great, so I'm going to be looking to upgrade my potions. They also added in icons for passive skills that give bonuses. So some of those abilities that have procs used to, you would have to look for the spell effect to show up on your character. You had to be kind of paying attention, but in the heat of battle a lot of times you would miss those spell effects. So now they've added icons to the game, so you can clearly tell when you have that effect. It's roughly 70 icons that they added in for the different passive effects. They also added in charged spells and skills. So one of them is this one right here, Blade Slinger. I use it quite a bit. If you can see, it's got a little 2 up in the corner. I have 2 charges of that. And then they also added in sigils, which are passive abilities that have an active ability aspect. So when you have that ability equipped, you get a passive bonus, and then you can activate it for an active bonus. The 2 examples that they gave for that were actually 2 of the new signature skills. So let's go ahead and take a look at those. Now they did completely rework the skill tree. I really didn't see that coming. I wasn't expecting a complete rework. I really thought that what we had was going to be pretty close to the final product. But again, they did rework it. They've changed the layout of most of the areas. This includes adding in roughly 32. So they added in about 32 new abilities, new skills. That's in the tree and the game. 5 of those are the signature skills. And they said they eventually want to add a signature skill to every one of these sections on the tree. They want to add a signature skill into every one of those. So we'll take a look at the 5 that they added. We'll start right here with the hunter one. So first step for the hunter, it's called Hunting Ground, and that's just a trap. So you're going to lay a trap, which will deploy when the enemy approaches. And then we'll work around in a clockwise. Now the next one is for the thief. It's called Infiltration. Now this is one of the examples they gave of a sigil. It has a passive mode which increases your movement speed, but it's going to decrease your armor. And then when you toggle that ability, you actually become invisible, and it drops your presence. That new stat that they added will become 0, so essentially you're invisible to the enemy. Under the Guardian, they added in Iron Guard, which you perform a shield bash that hits and stuns a single enemy while blocking incoming attacks. Now that's a charged ability, so that's like Blade Slinger. It has charges that you build up, and you gain charges on that one by blocking attacks. And then the other one, for the next one for Arcanist, is called Spellbinder. Now this is another one of their examples for a sigil. It's a passive ability which increases your Umbra regeneration and your resistance against spells. And then when you toggle that ability, so when you activate active mode, you actually get a bonus to your spell damage. It's just a temporary bonus. And then the fifth and final signature skill that they added was called Battle Art. This is for the Legionary, which is what I primarily play. Basically, it gives my character two different stances. I have an offensive and a defensive stance. Offensive is going to increase my attack speed and spellcasting speed, but it will lower my defenses, so my armor will go down. And then defensive is basically going to up my armor, but to decrease my movement speed. And I kind of reworked my build a little bit. I had been in the most of my points go in Legionary, and then previously I had put a lot of points into Guardian, but with the rework, that Iron Guard signature skill there wouldn't really help me much, since I dual wield swords. I don't actually carry a shield, so I would gain no benefit from that. So I actually reworked into the Thief tree to pick up Infiltration for that movement speed and invisibility. I'm going to see how that works. Get out of this. Alright, so that's the big update. They added a lot of new content. They did say they added some new stuff out in the game world. A lot of various other patch notes. If you guys want, I'm going to leave the link to the patch notes and stuff down in the description. You guys can kind of look over those. They added a lot of stuff to the game. This is the first update for September, so we should get one more update to the game here in probably 2 or 3 weeks, if they stick to their 2 updates a month like they have been. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, make sure you let me know. Shoot me a comment and give me a big thumbs up, guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks.